listening to Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
My personal belief is that there is very compelling evidence that we may not be alone.
There has been and is an existing presence, an ET presence. It's not going to make a difference. It's not going to change reality.
I believe, as do the other folks that were on the flight, that when we visually saw it, that it was something not from this world.
Goof On Radio.
You were either in or you were either out, brother.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Goof On Radio.
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
You're listening to Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
He said those aren't buoys. All right. Welcome to Goof On, everybody. I'm your host, Rich Giordano. It is Saturday, January 14th, 2023. How are we? Good. Good to see everybody. Yeah. It is the end of the week. It is Saturday. And there's pro football on. And it was a wipeout. That's not why I'm late, though. Last night I barely slept. I slept like 3 hours. But that's my fault. That's what happens when you feel healthy. You think you can stay up all night and party. But that's not what happened. I just didn't sleep for whatever reason. And then I went out this morning or 10-ish, 11-ish, went to my parents, ran some errands, had lunch at the folks, hung out there till 2, did a little grocery shopping, came home, ate, and then got ready to go work out. This isn't my workout outfit, by the way. And I got some, new smoky dokey, and I was bragging to somebody how friggin' indica, yeah, it don't put me to sleep, it wakes me up. I said, hey, it does the opposite. Sativa, I fall asleep on sativa. Indica, I stay awake. I took a couple of hits. I'm like, oh, thank God. Oh, this feels so good. Mike? And then the phone's ringing. That's all I knew. I had football on because the game had just started. Well, I forgot about the game because it's Saturday. So I turn it on. It's 14-13 Seattle. I wake up. It's 42-14. And Seattle never scored another point. I saw the first, 5 minutes. I saw the last 5 minutes of the first half. And then I was out like a light. So here we are. Mike, when Mike called, I heard the phone ringing. And I'm like, huh. And I go, wait a minute. That's the phone ringing. I thought it was the TV, because Mike's ringtone is but it's all orchestrated and it's got some rock. It's like a rock and roll version of it. Because Mike's, he's that way, you know what I'm saying? He could be the dark side, but in a rock and roll kind of way. You know what I mean? Kind of like darkness, but paranormal. Yeah, he should call himself Dark Hour or something like that. You know what I mean? Like Dark Hour. I don't know, put a space in there and say paranormal or something. He does. Oh, he did. Tonight we're going to talk about this. And a little bit of that. We're going to talk about a lot of different things. Maybe I'll have you guys come on and shoot the breeze with me on a Saturday. As they say in Britain, Saturday, mate. It's Saturday. It's Saturday, mate. It's Saturday. Saturday. But these people in ufology are misleading the public, supporting fantasies and lies. I say it every day. It's the same show, different day. Have a great weekend. All right? Is that it? Is that what we're doing? That's the end of the show. Mwah! That was a masterpiece, huh? Roll call, everybody. I can't believe it. I can't believe it scrolled all the way to you. I didn't even know. Welcome to the show, Mike. What do you say there, Chief? Huh? Yeah. Hey, Diane, boss. Intergalactic cover hall. Intergalactic cover hall. I bet. How did I know it was you? How did I know that was you? I knew that was you. Get up there. What's up, man? What's up, Mike? Welcome to the show. How you doing, G? Lunar Sparkles Uno. How you doing? Yeah, 4:35. Don't rub it in. Welcome to the show. Samo Goofonian Rockstar. How you doing tonight, huh? Working hard now? Huh? You earning that $0 per hour? You guys. Jackie Radford, welcome to the show. Good to see you, my favorite dog on the planet. No, I mean the picture, guys. Calm down. I want to see how he's progressing, or she. It looks like a girl dog, actually. You know how you can tell? Girl dogs have longer eyelashes. Heather Birdie, welcome to. Good to see you. Love those devilish eyes and that canary eating grin. The cat swallowed a canary and you don't want to tell nobody. That's the look, I see. Where's the bird? We had a bird. I thought the bird was there. Oh, I went to go feed the bird. No bird. And then you get this picture. I ate. Heather, did you eat the bird? And that's the picture. That's the look you give. Heather? Did you kill the dog? Cashew Gesundheit. Welcome to the show. Good to see you here. ¿Qué pasó, hein? Je voudrais ou vous. Allez-vous. Non. Je m'appelle Richard. Allez-vous? Je voudrais une pomme de terre. Hey, Peter Inkley, how you doing? Good to see ya. SoCal Squatcher. Welcome to the show. And Peter, welcome to the show. Moody Mongol, everybody. Welcome to the show. Sean. Oh my God, I can't believe it's Marie's UFOs. Yay! Are you here for another? Huh? I can't believe Marie's UFOs is here. She's right here. I'm looking right at her. I'm gonna be nice. I'm always nice. That's a nice picture of you, by the way. You look like my ex. That's scary. I mean, in a good way. But hey, Marie, it's really a pleasure to see you. You're a good sport. Actually, she is a good sport. She's smart. Gigi Abby Lynn is here. It is more than 88. There's 90 now. Well, yeah, if we're counting, because I'm late and I'm starting at 7 instead of 5 like we used to, I expect we don't see more than 120 tonight. I'd be surprised if we get more than that. Diamond Dog, welcome to the show. Shadi Panoran, welcome to the show. I'm sorry, Shadi Panoran. Hey, Greg, what do you say? How do you be? Tej? Yeah. Foghorn Leghorn? Brooke is? Who's this guy? Yeah. Derek Kennedy. Hey, man, how you doing? You got the memo. All right, I was going to say let's get started. Cosmic UFOs. What's up, UK? Hey, Alfie. All right. Jim. Oh, my gosh. I woke up and, chugged a little bit of food. I chugged my dinner real quick. What's up, David Wilcox? How you doing, man? Part-time Pete. What's up, brother? And Zach Diecast Monsu. What's up, Raw News TV? How you doing, man? Hey, Shell. Good to see you. Happy New Year. Scott Acha. What's up, Scott? All right. I like to say hi on Saturday to everybody. It's a Saturday. I know. I don't think I did roll call yesterday. Trying to get away from doing it, but I don't know. It's something we've been doing since we had more than 13 people in the chat room. Remember when we only had like 12, 13 people? How about when we only had 300 subscribers and we couldn't get away from 300. Like, for some reason, we were stuck at 300 an extra long, maybe 2 weeks at the time when we were growing. And we were called the 300. Well, unfortunately, we've lost a few on the way. So we're like 298 right now. It was the original. Okay, so yesterday or whenever the UFO report dropped. So everybody's got an opinion, of course. And no one better at giving an opinion than me. And what do I know? None of us really know what's going on. And I see a lot of podcasters saying the right thing. This is nothing new. It seems like, they're explaining everything. I mean, everybody said what we were saying yesterday. It's like, why, what? And I don't understand where the information is and why this is happening at such a slow level. I know that was a continuation of the very first one that they dropped with first time in 50 years. I get it. But I was listening to to Ross Coulthart and Bryce Zabel. And I like the show. I like it. They've got a good back and forth, and it's good comedy for me. Yeah, because just they're friends with Jeremy Corbell, and they're not afraid to say it. Our friend Jeremy Corbell. I'm like, Jesus, man, those are really good friends. That just like those of you here, you're not afraid to, for different reasons, mind you, but Goof On holds a lot of weight because some people think we support hoaxers and lies and shit like that, when, of course, that is so far from the opposite. I am the first to be the public abuser towards people faking stuff. I am the first. There is nobody still doing it to this day. They do a show a month or a show here and there, and they're like, they do all this research for weeks upon weeks, and then they come out and they still get it wrong. Because like I was saying, I don't know anything that's going on. Why that report was that late, 73 days late, whatever you want to count. And quite frankly, that's not really the problem with me today. The problem is the same problem I had yesterday. And that's people supporting the lie, the fantasy, their friends. And hey, I'm all for it. Support your friends. But if your friends are continually making the same mistakes and haven't learned from their mistakes, then that's almost a form of insanity, right? When you believe that, I know, doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result while you're always getting the same one, that's insanity. Same thing with your friends. You're crazy for being friends with these people who keep putting out the lie. And you keep supporting it. And that was the reason I got into this field. Let me scratch what I just said. That was the reason I started talking about this field. It's not the reason I got into it. The reason I am where I am doing what I do is because of things like this. Things like my friends are, they keep putting out stuff. And if they, keep doing it, how could you support it? People got mad at me because I supported Third Phase because some shady shit they did years ago, right? Not really as bad as Fat Tony or Secure Team. Not to the level of those guys, And they still get shit on every day because they, do what they do. But people hate that I'm friends with them because they did some shady shit 7-8 years ago. People change. They changed. Actually, they're the same people. They just changed the way they disseminate the information. Now they don't put out bullshit. As much as you think they put out, they're trying their best. That's all we could ask in this field, because we don't know everything. We can't verify every sighting. We can't even talk to every person. And Third Phase puts it out there fast and the first. So it's a little different entity than most people. Everybody's got their part in this field. That's their part. To put the shit out fast and quick. And when you do it fast and quick, you might slip up here and there. And that's what we try not to do. I mean, that's why we're friends. We help each other. They'll tell me things maybe you should say it this way, Rich. And then I'll tell them and I'll be like, I'm not too sure I want to talk about this sighting. It just seems a little bit balloony. And then maybe they won't post it, who needs negativity in this life, right? We're all trying to do the right thing. That's the thing. Behind the scenes, we have these conversations, and I'm sure Ross and Bryce have these conversations as well about the current state of ufology and the sightings and the people and the stories and the this and the that and the government. Everybody in the field, we all talk about it, right? But when you're promoting the lie. I have to talk about you. And you don't want me talking about... If I'm talking about you, you did something that's... not that good. You know? So... And... and I am going to show you. I was looking for the video to play. I think I brought it up. I also will listen a little bit more of what Jesus UFO Man has to say. UFO Jesus, because, you know, it's fun. He's not a bad guy, but he's... And you know what? He doesn't support the lies, but he still supports the agenda and the things that are happening in ufology, which is very bizarre to me. You're supporting, I get it. Like me, I support ufology. I don't have to like it, but I will support it and I will speak my mind. And he does that for his friends. You know, what it's going to take for Jeremy Corbell to change, which he won't, is for one of his friends to say, you've got to stop this insanity. You've got to stop it. But nobody's doing that. Bryce isn't doing it. Ross isn't doing it. Nobody's, I mean, no, even George Knapp isn't doing it. He's not telling, he's the problem. That's the problem. George Knapp, I feel, you know, when they're all around hanging out together, these people, everything George Knapp says, they just wait on bated breath. It's like, everything he says is like, I don't know, it's like a symphony. You know, they look up to him that way, like he's some sort of savant or something of ufology. And George Knapp's one of the biggest dickheads in the field, doing wrong all the time. Trying to do right? Are you kidding me? George Knapp is an investigative journalist. He's like Linda Moulton Howe. They only care about what makes them look good. It doesn't... If they cared about the truth, they would be doing it a little bit differently. So frustrating. Well, who's to say your way's the right way, Rich? It's easy to do this. And it's easy for me to sit here and talk. All right? It's easy. It's not that hard. Everybody can bitch and complain about something. Even if it's perfectly done, somebody can say they don't like a masterpiece, right? It's all an opinion. But this isn't opinions. This is facts that I'm giving you. Facts. That they're supporting the lie. I don't understand it. I just don't get why. No, I do. I get it. I know why. I know exactly why. Because they're their friends. And that's it. Because you can hear Bryce and especially Ross, you could hear them say what they want to say, but then they give such high praise to the work that's being done. It's very contradictory. Yeah. It's very strange. Hold on. Don't ask me. Look, I had the video. I'm telling you, I had it up and ready. I know I did. Oh, wait, is this it? This can't be it. Yeah, here it is. I did. I had it. I just missed it. All right, I have some points in this conversation that they had ready to go. And here we go. Let's pull right from the beginning. They just unbelievable. But we'll dive into Need to Know with Coulthart and Zabel. And oh my God, I have so much to say. Oh, wait. Huh. That's weird. All right, here we go. I like that flag, by the way. The Brits and the Americanas.
From the U.S., Bryce Zabel.
What?
Hello and welcome
Wait, that's Bryce Zabel? What the? Oh, it's Ross Coulthart.
to this special edition of Need to Know. We're literally doing this within 24 hours of the release to Congress of the UAP, the Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena Report to Congress, which was tabled in the Congress finally, I think either on the evening of Friday the 12th or the morning of Friday the 13th. I can't figure it out where I am in Australia, but it's an auspicious moment because this is the one of the very first here. I've forgotten. I keep on forgetting. What is RO?
Is the all domain anomalous resolution. I just wanted to point out, as you were saying that, though, let's be clear. This thing was mandated by law to be delivered on October 31st. And so we thought when it was late, well, it'll be a few days, they'll come up with it. It actually took them 73 days to come up with this. And by the way, what a difference a week makes, Ross. We were on here last week apologizing that we'd been off for too long because we were on holiday. And since we've been back now,
Pope Clement and King Philip had the leader of the Knights Templar arrested and along with other knights burned at the stake.
Yeah.
Oh, today you will never know any more about what UFOs really are.
All right. I want to say something here. They're going to talk about, what's his name? Debunker guy.
As you lie on your own deathbed.
And he was right. And he was right about UFOs that will... Oh, Philip Klass, who I hate. Hate Philip Klass, but he gets some things right. Something about Philip Klass. Him and his bottom lip, it's always wet. You know those guys?
They come from. You will never know any more about what the US exists. And he said, no matter how long you notorious debunker, the skeptic Philip Klass, you know, his UFO curse. This is what he said after his death. He cursed ufologists and he said, no matter how long you live, you will never know any more about UFOs than you know today. You will never know any more about what UFOs really are or where they come from. You will never know any more about what the US government really knows about UFOs than you know today. As you lie on your own deathbed, you will be as mystified about UFOs as you are today. And you will remember this curse, said Philip Klass.
So, I never heard that before until he said, I didn't know Philip Klass had that curse. But I've been saying that from day 2. Once I figured it out, I was saying, you know what? We're never going to learn anything new. This is it. We've learned it all. Because we're not going to learn anything new because the government won't allow it. So it's up to you and I to figure shit out. And a lot of people think they know what they saw and they know what they captured on video. And 99.8% of the time, 9% maybe, they're wrong, including me. I know what I have on video, but I don't know what it is. I just know that it is. And it could be balloons, birds, bugs, satellites. Could be something mundane, man-made. I don't know. But if I can't get to it and touch it and see it and feel it and shake it and analyze it, then if I can't figure it out by looking at it, you know? Anyway, here we go. Philip Klass was right. But they don't like it. They hate that Philip Klass said that. I love it. Because what have we learned? I'm sorry. I'm waiting for an answer. While you're waiting to answer what we learned about the UFOs, you can help support GoofOn if you could. We are supported by you, literally supported by you to do this show. And that's why we've been going every day. So if you find it within your heart, you can help support the show through Super Chat, Super Sticker, PayPal, Cash App, become a member, and all the links are in the show description. and on GoofOn's About section, just like on every other YouTube channel. And I will be filling that seat that was vacated by our lovely Coral Ann. So Monday, that announcement will be made. Okay? All right. Just wanted to throw that out there. Here we go.
Or now, because the truth.
Oh, so have you figured it out? What? Let me see. Anybody? Freemasons did. They stole 33. Uh-oh. You feel it coming? Don't say that. Even if members don't know, I don't know what conversation that's going to. Our friend, what's this? Woods Elf. Our friend Rich tells the truth. I know there is other life entities. I saw a gray small child. Then 4 encounter sightings / missing time by 17. We're here for the same reason. Hey, Viral Duck Films, how are you? Love that profile pic. Good to see you. Oh yeah, we'll play more of the that video that Viral Duck Films made. That's right. We're supposed to continue, and I didn't do that yesterday because we had the panel and we were talking and all that. All right, so nobody knows, right? Nobody knows anything about the UFOs, anything more than what Philip Glass said 30, 40 years ago, right? All right. What do we know? Well, Bob Lazar came out and told us some stuff. No proof. Just stuff again. Yeah, Coraline was sweet. I'll continue this and let's hear.
The truth of the matter is, there are a lot of people that know a lot about this topic now. They just haven't shared their work over the years. And I think that part of the concern here was, were we actually going to get a report that began to peel back the onion a little bit and lets the government show some of the work it's...
All right. He's saying, we're hoping the report would peel back an onion and the government would share what it knows. Hey, guys, that's never going to happen. All right. The next time they put out the report, when was it? In June, July maybe? The report's going to be coming out mid-year. The second one. This is the end of the first. So let's just say the next second? The report... Next one, you would expect that there would be some stuff in there that we could look at. If it doesn't start, if we don't see, because the next report that's going to come in, they're going to have to talk about the 510 sightings that are in their possession. And I think it was 300 and blah, blah amount that, that was there since they put the office in session. Put the office in session. I don't think that's right terminology. It doesn't matter. Greg O'Brien throwing down again a 333, continuing his insanity by supporting GoofOn with again $3.33, $3.33. Uh-oh, he says. I don't know what that means. Somebody show up that, I don't know. You see, because the uh-oh came in probably a minute or two after I was saying something, right? It never pairs up 100%. So I don't know what uh-oh means, but I appreciate it. I like the 333 support too. Thank you very much, Greg O'Brien. Appreciate it. Continuing supporter of GoofOn. Good friend of the show. That good. All of a silence. Different. Thanks, Greg. Mucho gusto, generoso Cerso. Continue on with the Zabel Coulthart Fantasyland conversation.
been going through for the past 80 years. I don't think this particularly does it, but if I could just sort of do the hits, runs, and airs for a moment. It is I forget how many pages, I guess it's 11 pages with the appendix, but
it's 6 pages really.
There apparently have been 366 new cases since that preliminary report that had come out.
Not interesting.
Unaffiliated cases, which we'll have to say are unknown. And that means half the cases that are breaking, that they're finding with their sensors and the radar and all of these things that we have to go look for these things, 47% of them, half of them are unidentified. So
that is significant. And I think what's also significant, before we even get into the nitty-gritty of this report, is the mere fact that the Congress is receiving reports on UAPs, unidentified anomalous phenomena. The mere fact that this is a public document, that there are now reports on CNN, the New York Times, Politico, CBS, ABC, NBC, the fact that this is being engaged with by mainstream media and even being talked about is a light year paradigm leap. It's very, very important. And I know I'm guilty of it myself. Yeah. The one thing that we often feel is a sense of despondency, knowing what we believe we know about what's really going on inside the US government. A sense of despondency often hits a lot of us that, really not much is happening. It's all going to be put back in the box. Whatever disclosure will happen is going to be underwhelming. But really,
you see the verbiage, the way he's speaking right there, what he just said. Listen, you probably didn't catch it because I stopped it without telling you. Watch.
Going to be underwhelming. But really, this is significant. We should stop and take stock.
No, that's not it.
It's all going to be put back in the box.
Hold on.
We know
Here we go.
About what's really going on inside the US government. A sense of despondency often hits a lot of us that, really not much is happening. It's all going to be put back in the box. Whatever disclosure will happen is going to be underwhelming.
Whatever disclosure will happen will be underwhelming. Whatever disclosure will happen? See? You either have disclosure or you don't. Disclosure is nothing like, oh, you'll get peace and peace and peace. That's confirmation, like Dave Scott said it is. Disclosure's every piece of the puzzle at once, not piece by piece by piece. That's not disclosure. Whatever pieces of disclosure, whatever, right? I mean, that's bad. That's not what it is.
Despondency often hits a lot of us that, really not much is happening. It's all going to be put back in the box. Whatever disclosure will happen is going to be underwhelming.
Whatever disclosure will happen is going to be underwhelming. So why can't he just say whatever evidence comes out? Because it's not whatever disclosure. Very bad, very, very bad. I mean, this is something he's going to learn over time, but he won't change it. And you know why? Because Bryce and Ross are part of the problem, unfortunately. I may like what they say half the time, but the other half, they're supporting people like Corbell and Knapp and, Lou. They love him. They kiss the boots he walks in. It's amazing to me.
But really, this is...
And you know why he does it? I'll be straight up honest. He doesn't want to piss off anybody so they don't go on his show. That's all it's about. It's about nothing else. Do you really think that they care if they're friends with Lou Elizondo in real life? No. No, but they're pulling the Alien Addict. Nothing against Alien Addict, by the way, because Alien Addict says, I'm not going to talk shit about David Fravor because I want him on the show. I'm not going to talk shit about Secure Team because I want him on the show. Same thing. They want their friends to keep, they're fake friends. I'm going to say they're all fake. Every one of them are fake friends with each other because that's the way it seems. I heard some rumors behind the scenes about you know, that Lou Elizondo group, you know, Cahill and then the other guy who, what was his name? Who came out with all that stuff against Lou and Cahill, him. It's like they're fighting with each other. Because that's what happens when you lie to your supposed friends. Eventually, these two guys, you'll see down the road, they're going to change their tune. And they're going to start eventually getting, unless I'm completely right about them not wanting to talk shit about Corbell. This is the litmus test that I'm putting them under. Corbell is that test. Because Corbell's supposed to drop something soon. And we all know when he does, it's not going to be anything that we're going to call legit. Right? It's been a long time since Corbell posted anything. You know, and I think that the last time was bad. The last couple of things he put out, all of them were awful. But, I mean, come on.
It is significant. We should stop and take stock of the fact here that the mere fact that there is a public document tabled in the Congress that is actually investigating this issue, tabulating UAP reports, UFO reports, and actually taking the issue seriously.
Oh, no.
This is a big moment. This is important. And frankly, okay, it's a dog turd of a report. Frankly, I think it was written in the
Is that a
toilets
technical
in Congress.
term? Dog turd of a report.
It was. I literally think whoever wrote this report basically wrote it on his lap, sitting in the loo in Congress before he bolted into the Senate.
So he's trying to act like he thinks the report is shit. Right? He just said it. And then Bryce shook his head and, you know, was like, wait, what? What'd you just say? How, I can't believe you just said that, Ross. I can't either. I can't believe he said it. But he's not picking on his friends. He's picking on the person who wrote the report. That's how Ross is smarter than most people. He makes it seem like, because it is a shit report. There's nothing in it. It's for new people who've never been in ufology. And we've been saying this from day one. When the first time they came out, the first part was a preliminary report that they dropped on June 25th last year, 2021. It's all bullshit. It's all, even though they dropped that thing, remember June 25th, 2021? Everything we saw in this report is exactly the same thing in the preliminary report. It's almost identical. It's amazing. Right? Yeah, well. So, I was going to just play 2 clips from this thing, but I'm winding up going through it. Let's move on and get to the stuff I wanted to talk about, really. It's right in here.
And that's important, particularly with these 170.
Here we go.
There. But if you start telling people the actual cases, they start to freak out because these are unusual cases.
I agree. I mean, there's no explanation here of the methodology, and that's important, particularly with these 171 unexplained sightings, quote, some of which appear to have demonstrated unusual flight characteristics or performance capabilities. It's very, very important because...
All right. So the fact that they say that in the report, these UFOs show uncharacteristic flight capabilities. I want to see that. You know? Okay. So they're talking about it. That's great. So they must have evidence of these objects making unbelievable, uncharacteristically movements. Characteristic movements. Right? That means they have the video. So, we should see it, right? Don't you think there would be a little addendum thing next to it that says, you know, ba-ba-da-ba-da, and making uncharacteristic behavior, has uncharacteristic behaviors, and then there would be a little thing, and it says, has a number next to it, like a 4 or a 5 or a 1 or a 2 or a 3, and then and then you go look and you look at the bottom, and you see what 3 is, and along the side it says CGI. But nobody's going to look to the side of the sightings and see the CGI. Nobody's going to look to the side of the sightings to see if it's CGI. That's a lot of sisses. But, and Bryce and Ross, they know this. See, Ross, he's fresh out of the journalism game. He knows all the tactics, like Dave Scott. He knows mainstream media, how it plays. That's why he's not in it anymore.
In the methodology, I'm sure there's a methodology, or at least I hope there is a methodology that the UAP task force is using. There's some good people on that task force. There's some very dedicated people who are genuinely trying to get to the answers. And the thing that, for example, really irritated me is that 163 of the investigated sightings were labeled balloons or balloon-like entities. What the hell does that mean? What is a balloon?
First of all,
entity?
What is a balloon-like entity? Is he asking a rhetorical thing? Is he just asking for the audience, or does he not know what a balloon-like thing is?
Okay, first of all, balloons have been part of ufology for years, going back really to the Roswell case, where first it was a flying disc, and then the government said no, it's a weather balloon.
Oh, is that what happened in Roswell? I had no idea. Please do tell with this history lesson. Oh,
so weather balloons are certainly loaded words, but another loaded word is entity. What a weird choice of a way to describe it. Balloon-like entities. When I think of entities,
what that tells.
you know what it is? They really don't know what to say and how to say it. This is weird. I'm having a weird reaction to this again. How do you not know what they mean when they write in there balloons or balloon-like entities? You know what it means if you know English, what they're trying to say. So are these guys really just playing it like, what do they mean really? Or like, how can Bryce say, what is a balloon-like entity? When I think entity, I think of it being alive and it's got arms and legs and it does this. That's what they're thinking about. Entity. Don't they understand how language works when you put that together with balloons or balloon-like entity?
Tells me, Bryce, is they don't know what it is. And, and unless they explain their methodology, I mean, to me, balloon.
What do you mean they don't know what it is? It's a balloon or a balloon-like entity. A balloon-like entity. What is a balloon-like entity? Something that looks like a balloon, that's made with balloons, that has balloons, or is of a balloon nucleus. Capiche? It doesn't mean it's alive. It's a balloon-like entity and it's got eyes and, oh my God, guys. So weird. This is weird. I'm very weirded out by this conversation.
Like entities is a bit like saying, oh, it's a something. It's
It's a something. That's what they mean by balloon entities. It's a something. Wow.
And unless they explain their methodology, I mean, to me, balloon-like entities is a bit like saying, oh, it's a something. It's kind of like a balloony sort of thingity-bobbity wobbity wob. But I've explained it now, so go away and leave me alone and let me get on with doing what I've been doing for the last 70 years, which is covering this issue up.
Well,
I really think we have to call it. I mean, I'm not questioning the motives of the individuals that run the AARO, because I'm hearing good things about them. I'm hearing that they are dedicated people who are doing good work. But you can't.
Gotta kiss their ass. You gotta kiss their ass after you slap him, you passive-aggressive bitch. Now he's got to give a compliment. You know, they're making fun of the words that were used in writing it. Now they've got a compliment. These are very smart people, very intelligent people who wrote this up now. I mean, I know earlier I said they were stupid, but I'm a hypocrite. Not me. They are.
Can't do anything about the dead hand of the Pentagon PR machine that wants to dampen this down. And that's my concern. And Chris Mellon, the former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security, he made this comment about the report. He said, the government has again demonstrated its unique and uncanny ability to transform an inherently fascinating topic into vexing bureaucratic jargon. If the intent was to make the report as anodyne, unremarkable, and as boring as possible, the authors did exceptionally well. I say this partly in jest, but in truth it appears efforts were made to minimize the impact of the data. For example, there's an incredibly stark contrast between the stunning testimony of UAP capabilities reported by Navy pilots, for example, something not from this earth, and the flaccid, lovely language, flaccid UAP report language, which by contrast asserts some of these uncharacterized UAP appear to have demonstrated unusual flight characteristics or performance capabilities and require further analysis. Pretty boring
That
stuff.
sounds like one of those AI computers.
I got nothing, man. I don't understand where they're going, how they, you know, they're very passive aggressive in their approach to this. Either you love it or you hate it, you know, or tell me you love it and hate it, and stop acting like, you know, you're making this in, because it sounds like they're, I can't even speak. It sounds like they don't want to bash it, even though Ross just said whoever wrote this did a shit ass job, basically. And, you know, Bryce, you see him going, oh my God, I can't believe he just said that. Like, why? Why can't we say that? You know what I mean? If the report's boring and it sucks and Ross feels that way, we'll say it. But then he comes back and says, oh, you know, I'm sure they're nice people. I mean, I do it too. But I just find it funny.
An AI would have written a livelier report.
I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. Now, listen, one of the things last week that we were lamenting was that all of the politicians in Congress who'd previously espoused a great interest in UAPs had suddenly gone quiet for the last 6 months. And I want to put it on record that there's been some really interesting comments from a lot of the major players in the last day or so. Mike.
I find it extremely interesting that he just said that it's been awfully quiet for the last 6 months. I don't want to say why.
Gallagher, the person who actually the representative who put the UAP clauses, the new clauses into the National Defence Authorization Act passed in December, he put a statement out after the release of the UAP report. He said, the DNI's most recent UAP report reinforces what we already know, that we must figure out what our military aviators are observing in our airspace. The whistleblower protections, and he's talking about these new laws that have been put into the Defence Authorization Act, recently passed into law, are an essential step forward to solving this decades-long mystery, and will ensure that those entrusted with defending America from potential threats have all the required information, historical context, and scientific resources to do so. Now, that's a very positive thing. The mere fact that Mike Gallagher is still prepared to speak out publicly and espouse support for probing investigations into the UAP issue, that really matters. I also want to put on the record that Senator Mark Warner, the Senate Intelligence
I'm bored
Chair,
of that. I don't care about that.
I do think the notion that this is somehow you're going to get some intelligence official sitting down in a church committee style hearing and going, oh yeah, you know, we've been lying to you guys for 30, 40 years, well, 70 years actually. You know, I just don't think that's ever going to happen. And I think, frankly, what is going to make a difference is a slow waking up by the public.
How is it possible that he's actually saying exactly what we're saying here? How's that possible? You know why. You know exactly why. I'm not going to say it.
Slow realization that at the same time, we can move now, I think, from the very limited amount of detail that we've got in the UAP report to the media coverage thereof.
But let me just throw one.
Let me get to the 34-minute mark here.
Just to build on what you just said, what we are really seeing and what you're calling for and what you're saying is,
here we go
right now to this podcast. I want you to know that the New York Times thinks you are a quote flying saucer. Second paragraph of the article itself, they call people who are interested in this topic, that is you, me, the people who are listening. If you're listening right now to this podcast, I want you to know that the New York Times thinks you are a quote flying saucer fan or a conspiracy theorist or a UFO enthusiast.
Good. I am. And I'm better at them at it. And so are all of you. We're better than the government. So why aren't we doing anything about it? Because as good as we are mentally, physically, it's expensive to get to each other. If it was that easy, I would have been doing it already.
It is so freaking insulting. And it reminds me that George Carlin, the famous comedian, did an entire riff in his career.
I don't think it's insulting. I think it's accurate. It's accurate because ufology isn't giving, we have not given those people who criticize us any evidence that they could say, oh my God, this is phenomenal. That's definitely aliens. And none of us have any pictures of aliens that are legit. So, and then when you look at the people that this whole entire field is stigmatized with through, goes back to the 50s and 60s when people were coming out of the freaking woodwork to talk about aliens and UFOs and lying. And everybody wanted a piece of that pie back then. There was a wave of sightings in the 50s. Very famous sightings, right? One flew over a fleet flew over the Capitol. Wasn't that in the 50s? 60s? When was that Capitol flyover? Anyway, now it gets, this, we're at the end of this almost, but I like where we're going because you'll see why I wanted to talk about this in 3, 2, go.
On the UFO topic. And among the things that he took them to task for was he was tired of being called a UFO buff, like it wasn't something serious. This New York Times article doesn't even mention the word UAP there. It says flying saucer fans, conspiracy theorists, UFO enthusiasts, and in addition to that, did aliens land on Earth in 1945, blah, blah, blah. They state as fact that the Roswell object turned out to be a top secret U.S. military balloon. That is not a fact. There's nothing factual about that. That is one explanation that the government has offered out of 4 explanations over the years. And obviously the writer of this article, Remy Tumla, didn't know that. She's new to the topic, I guess, didn't know that. And they say again in that very first paragraph that Roswell, was just a balloon. So you were hearing about crash wreckage, and the New York Times is parroting that back. Now, okay.
But Roswell was a balloon. It was a spy balloon from Germany or China or Japan. If you take out all of the bullshit, take out of Roswell the headline that created all the conspiracy shit towards Roswell. Take that headline. If that headline never went out, we don't have Roswell on the map. And guess what? We would be talking about another place at another time. But, you know, if you go back to that day, those days, the U.S. government, whatever, captures flying saucer, Roswell, whatever. The next day, it wasn't a flying saucer. We made a mistake. It was a weather balloon. So you got to be like, how could the government make a mistake between a disc-shaped object from another planet and a balloon? How can you make a mistake? Well, first of all, there were two crash sites, the Roswell and some other place nearby. Right? We always talk about the one in Roswell, but the other one is the one we should be talking about. I think there were more alien bodies there. The wreckage was more intact. And apparently there was a lot more shit happening over there, but we're always talking about Roswell. But Roswell's interesting, but what if it isn't? And it really is just weather balloon. Too much evidence. Circumstantial and maybe not so much circumstantial evidence is out there saying that Roswell was an alien disc-shaped object, but man, can you imagine how history would be so much different if that headline never happened?
I said my last.
Can I just respond to what you just said then, Bryce? I mean, I actually do agree with you. And in fact, I was going to make some of the points you've just made myself. Right. What I want to add to what you've just said is that continuing the tradition of the apologia for the Pentagon PR people, Julian Barnes, the New York Times national security reporter, on the 12th of January, I think it was on the evening before this Remy Tooman story ran, he did his own report, curtain raising the coming UAP report. And he said things like, the failure to categorize many incidents has frustrated intelligence officials and fueled conspiracy theories. But Pentagon officials say the incomplete findings are a result of inadequate sensor collection, not evidence of advanced technology or any sort of government cover-up. He's doing his very best on behalf of the Pentagon to dampen down speculation. And I'm really sorry. I think we have to call the New York Times out on this. The grey lady is being disingenuous. He also said things like, with the release of any government report on UFOs, officials hope the information will quell speculation around the unexplained incidents. But such hopes are inevitably dashed because incidents that cannot be categorized fuel new rounds of speculation and conspiracy.
You know, in this video somewhere, and I don't know why I have it here saying 34 minutes, Corbell comment. It didn't say it right there. I must have wrote it down wrong or didn't see it right. Maybe it's 24 minutes. I know it was in here.
Whenever we encounter them, those are called classified. There's not even an attempt to describe that they exist.
Political representatives of the US people in the Congress is.
But anyway, those guys are, they were still talking about giving praise to Corbell and all that stuff. But yeah, they're living in fantasy land. And it's not that they said anything wrong. It's just that anytime they said something that I would believe in or that I felt was legit, they come back and contradict it almost by giving credit to the person making the ridiculous claim. So I don't understand, really why they do that, but I don't know if it's intentional or unintentional. I have a feeling it's unintentional because they're trying to be nice. At the same time, they're trying to be truthful about a boring report. And that's something that needs to be addressed in this field is like, hey, you got friends that aren't doing their job and they're not doing it right. You need to say something. If Third Phase of Moon wanted to put a video up and they're like, hey, we'd like you to talk about this, give us your perspective on what you see. I'd be like, I'm not talking about that one there. Are you kidding me? That's a balloon. No way. And if they argued about it with me, I would have to explain in detail why. And they would have to explain in detail why to me, why it's a UFO. But you got to let your friends know. Either way, as a friend, you should let your friends know that what they're doing isn't either moral or they're bold-faced lying. Whatever it is, the message, it's getting lost and it's not real. Anything that comes from Corbell. And now Knapp. I feel Knapp is the same way because these guys are betting on that all chips are in on Skinwalker Ranch with this group, the Corbell group. Or Ziegfugel, maybe his group. Ziegfugel. But we just watched Need to Know with Bryce Zabel and Ross Coulthart talking about the UFO report. And I know, in my opinion, most of it, what they said was it was accurate. I just wish they could just be like, you saw when Ross said whoever wrote this did a shitty job, it's boring. And then Bryce looked like he was about as uncomfortable. You know, he's like, oh, geez, I can't believe you just said that. When are we going to get away from the shock and awe of saying something truthful in this world? Capiche? Oh, it's a two capiche show. Are you kidding me? Hey, I just realized something. That's right. I'm not hearing any beeps, dings, or anything. My phone isn't here. In all the waking up confusion, I left my phone in the other room. I'm going to play a video. I haven't, did Third Phase put anything up? Let's see what Third Phase has here. Nothing new. But I'm going to play this video from Third Phase because it's interesting. And then we'll come back and we'll get back into UFOlogy's fantasy land. We're not done yet. But maybe it is a good time for you guys to get a drink or something. But here is a video. UFOs over a Russian nuclear power plant. People love power plant UFOs. They live for it. It's their bread and butter. It's their breakfast in the morning. It's their go juice. Here we go. Enjoy. Let me remove that floating banner. Boop. And bop. UFOs over a Russian nuclear power plant. Ooh.
All right, we're trying to confirm exactly what's going on, but there is a pickup of these unidentified flying objects over nuclear power plants. And the story has been in the archives and the recent news across different platforms in recent encounters with the phenomenon in close proximity to these reactors. Isn't this interesting? And again, that's where we all really wonder, is ET really keeping an eye on the nuclear activity? Because in this video, I believe it's authentic, showcases some kind of unusual object in Russia. Look at this. Getting a closer look, I'm going to have to roll out CGI. Whatever it is, it's really there. Again, could this be propaganda, or is this something we should worry about? Brian, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, right now we're living in a strange time in our world. Everybody's kind of holding their breath, and seeing something like this makes me even a little more curious and concerned on what's really going on. If some of this activity is indeed otherworldly, checking out our adversary's nuclear power plant gets a little sketchy, in my opinion. This is a good close-up. You can see the shine right there as it reflects off this craft, whatever it is. It descends down closer to the area. This is a really good still. Are we looking at CGI? Is this real? This is a big question here.
Yeah, absolutely. I was trying to actually...
You know, it looks like in this video, this looks like it was made for a movie to me, or like it's part of a movie. You know? It's not the normal video that we usually see. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that is, but it's got a lot of drone quality to it. You know, it seems to be a drone, but it looks kind of big for a drone. Maybe it's a balloon, or I don't know, man. But it's definitely in the sky. Whatever that is, it's there. But I don't know what it is. So look at that. They did a little stabilizing on it, but it's got to be something mundane. Yeah, where did it go? You know? Oh, then they show other UFOs. Oh.
It's coming in from different sources across different media platforms. This is what we have to
drones
put into the reference of this, that indeed maybe something really is happening right now. And again, we're not saying that this is fact, but what we're saying is that these are the reports that we're hearing from our sources. And we're going to take...
All right. I just want to show that video for a minute just to get us to the next part here while I grab the phone. Thorsten Federer, who is a fan of the show, sent a PayPal of $100. And I'd also definitely want to thank Dark Sky Files for he did a Cash App. $50. That was earlier today. So thank you for that support. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. And you guys are continuing supporters of Goof On. Thank you very much. You know, we are the only show that goes every night. We're the only show that tells it like it is, I believe. There's people out there that are talking about this stuff like me, but they're on Twitter or another platform. I'm talking a YouTuber in ufology who really tells it like it is, doesn't skimp on words. And I appreciate it when you guys follow suit, when you come on here and you're open and you tell us your feelings. This is what they need to know. But they don't care. They don't. But you figure if we keep just doing what we do, bring the evidence in, and don't kill the messenger for bringing in shitty evidence. Evidence is evidence, whether it's bad or good. Somebody's sending me stuff, or I'm not going to say her name. And she believes what she's seeing is spiritual and stuff like that because she's using door cams and security cameras as her source for the paranormal. And I keep telling her that for sure is a lens flare, and that for sure is water on the lens. I don't even know. Like, I even said to her, I'm surprised you're even asking me such an obvious question. And then I'm like, wait a minute. Or you're answering me to such an obvious thing. Can't speak sometimes, you know? And I'm like, it's so obvious to me that maybe it's not that obvious to some people. Even before I got into the field and seeing what she's trying to tell me, seeing that stuff, it shouldn't take a researcher. I mean, anybody can look at this stuff and immediately know from a lifetime of taking pictures of yourself and family and friends and things and places. You see these anomalies all the time. You just dismiss it or you delete the photo because it's in the way. And that's what we're getting with this person. But they insist they're right. Willing to work with me, willing to learn, but not yet willing to believe me. Like, I even said, don't you think I want you to have the Holy Grail of the paranormal, don't you think that would help me too? That goes to everybody. You know, when you send me your dots and you're insisting that it's a UFO, and I'm like, but it's a dot. That could be anything. It's a little bit out of focus too, by the way. Haven't you noticed? You know, and they get all mad because, you know, you killed the dream by telling them the truth. But don't you think I want to be the guy to break it out to the world that I'm speaking with somebody that has hundreds of pictures of the paranormal? Don't you think I want to get that viral shit going right now with your evidence? But I can't, because you're not giving me anything that's usable. No, and if it's that obvious to me and not obvious to them, then I don't continue that conversation and try to convince people, because you can't. And some people you just can't convince, no matter what evidence you prove and say, look, I'm going to show you a picture right here. And then you show them the picture of the sun flare and they go, oh no, that's a spirit. All right, what about this one? When I was in the turlet, huh? I took a selfie of myself on the turlet. What's that? Oh, you got a spirit orb in the toilet with you. Do you see that light bulb right there? Yeah. You see this little tiny green light that is right here. Every time I move the camera, the light moves the opposite way. Oh, that's a spirit orb. It's one fire. You can't convince that person. I give them one chance. That's it. No more 2 and 3 chances. I want to help. I do. But you gotta want the help. But people would rather believe in the fantasy than believe in reality. Don't you think I would too? Don't you think I want to believe? Don't you think I want flying cars? Don't you think I want teleportation and instant conversation, gratification, going to the other side of the galaxy in a blink of an eye or a thought? Don't you think I want that? Don't you think I want to talk to aliens? Do you think I really like being the bad guy? I hate it. But somebody has to do it. And we're the only ones that do on a regular basis. On YouTube. There are people out there, but nobody really has the experience that we bring. So it's very hard to find. I know people have more experience than me, and they still believe in the shit you're not supposed to believe in. But they have more experience. They've captured more things. But in reality, I'd rather have quality than quantity, if you ask me. So everybody who's in this field, it's not huge where there's thousands of us that we don't know everybody's name. We almost know the main players and the people in the know, and people have that at YouTube channels. So, Asshole Face, Lou Angeles, over on that other channel that they had, the one. You remember Rather Be Squidding and him had a falling out. Well, apparently they're now kissed and made up. Well, Lou attacked Rather and tried tonguing him, but Rather said, I don't go that way, bro. But they made up, and it looks like Rather Be Squidding is making up with Lou Elizondo as well. You remember? He was the one that called Lou out. First time ever. And then Lou got butt hurt. He got butt hurt over it and hasn't been back. Never went back on their show. The Unidentified Celebrity Review. That was the name of it. Dumbest name ever in the history of a YouTube channel. Horrible. Unidentified Celebrity Review. It's dumb. But you remembered it. No. It was hard for me to remember it. And I'm in the field. I hate that name. Well, anyway, Rather Be Squidding on Twitter says, the 2022 UAP report finally came out. DoD Arrow was a much needed program, and despite my criticism at Lou Elizondo and Christopher Mellon, deserve commendation for it. I, for one, think that if DoD Arrow finds aliens, they will tell us. Do you agree? So Lou says, thank you, rather, sincerely. Maybe we can bury the axe and move forward together. 2023 will be great, a great year for this topic. Happy New Year and no hard feelings here. So I said, no. Oh, they deleted it. Yeah, they deleted my comment. I think. I don't know. I'm going through it. Yeah, they sure did. Because I'm on the page and it's not there anymore. I don't remember what I said. Anyway, I think I just said, oh, isn't that cute? Or something like that. Lacey is someone on Twitter who thinks they have evidence. So we're going to look at proof that aliens were found in NASA photos. Are you ready for this? Yes, Regis. This will knock your socks off. That's terrible, Regis, today. I can't do it. So Lacey says, yeah, I may not love him, but I dig him. These photos were taken by NASA, and they missed a few scrubs back in the early 70s. So just watch it. It's short. All right. This is short. 8 minutes. All right. I love the unscrubbed photos. This will be good. Scrub-a-dub-dub and a rub-a-dub-tub.
UFOs.
Oh, yeah, this guy's good.
Objects. An intriguing subject. Sure,
oh, yeah, I remember this guy.
It could turn out to be virtually anything.
All right, where is it? All right.
It's magazine 71, letter Tom T. Let's brighten it for a second, and the moon really shows up. Now, back to the original. It's pretty dark except for that white speck on the left side. So let's move in closer. When I first found this, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Consider the details here. A pair of landing skids, apparent antennas on one side, which seems to be the front. As the other end, we find an attached contraption. And though we have no size reference, this is incredible. We ran it through a few filters, digging for more detail. And right here, it's most evident that there's a clamping apparatus extending at a 90-degree angle. So how in the world did NASA miss this? There's links to this image in the video description. It is housed with tens of thousands of other NASA images at the Lunar and Planetary Institute website.
Do you believe? Isn't that amazing? They did it. Yeah, they found aliens. It's amazing. Watch.
Would be available to anyone 40 some odd years later. So in other words, I caught on to this and I looked at thousands. Okay, first, let there be light, please. Also Apollo 14. And notice this is photo 9906. That's only 5 photos prior to the one we just saw.
It's a watch.
I'm moving in closer. What do we have here? There's detail, but it's weird. Taken so close to the first image, I wondered if this is the same UFO, but
what?
Can't match anything with it, so it's likely this is a different craft altogether.
What?
But even when changing orientation, you know, it's hard to make heads nor tails of this thing. This is also from Apollo 14, image 9892, so this is much earlier in the film roll than the other two, and you've got to wonder how I even saw this. Look, I don't spend my whole life here, folks, believe me. I'm just, let's say...
Wait a minute. There's all sorts of strange markings on old photos, right? That doesn't mean, no, there's like, it's just when you take a photo, there's things that are always floating around and, dust. You can't really see it unless the light hits it just right. But if you take a picture of something and there's a flash, it lights it up and it stops it so you can see it, right? And sometimes when they're really close, right up to the lens, and the flash hits it right, it looks like a spirit. In space, however, I don't know what's floating around out there. I know there's a lot of rocks and dust and stuff you can't see at all. But I thought this was just because of stuff getting scratched. Not physically, like it's on the film. It's already there. It's old. I don't know. You'll see. Let's see.
Curiously observant? Yeah, let's call it that. How about Apollo 13, as they did that slingshot maneuver around it? Now, it's interesting in that with these images, whomever did the original retake for scrubbing,
oh wow,
actually did it in a manner to where we can see the edge of the overlay.
Oh no way.
This is great because it's something we've heard about.
Oh my God, look at the difference.
Proof of that tomfoolery, those rascals.
That sucks.
They miss things. Take a look at this.
Look, they changed the color of the moon. They made it like white instead of the pictures we see today from, didn't China land on the moon? Remember when they landed and they showed us that last January? The pictures? And it looked dirty. Like, didn't look white.
Trio of unidentified spacecraft.
It looked like brown sand.
There's some decent resolution here and some distinct features are evident.
Now, these are a little more
we're
interesting.
Seeing today, every flying craft.
That's interesting.
Are the greatest of the UFO images ever taken.
Wow.
Because the images are documented by NASA. We know who took them and when and where.
They are, and these are a little interesting. That
need?
one had a shadow on it. Did you see it? He didn't even bring it up. Look at the shadow down there.
So, what more do you need?
A lot more. A video, perhaps.
Okay, so the cool thing about this unusually shaped UFO is that just moments later, there's another image of it.
What? Hold on, Chief. I never saw these. Huh? What happened to the sound? What happened to the sound? I didn't do anything.
Image 8755.
Okay.
Starting near where the overlay is visible, there's a pair of UFOs.
Oh, that must be on his end. That's not me.
And then this bad boy. And this guy. Image 8728 provides us with a possible shadow of a flying craft below. And finally...
Sorry. I had to power up with the MJ. So, of course, I see the comments in here. Intergalactic Coverhaul says space junk. Maybe. I don't think so. But maybe. I don't know. Well, nobody knows. Bob is real. He doesn't wear a shirt. Ever. Even when no, he doesn't. Except when he takes a shower or goes outside. He puts a shirt on. What's this? Kill you bits. Seen the damage to the International Space Station at 1 centimeter or smaller size. My God. I know. Right, Troy? That was crazy when it got hit by the smallest little thing and it created such a mess. Well, nice hole. Because it's going how fast? It was going like 34,000 miles an hour or something. Hey, you only cry in the shower? Yeah. I grew up with someone who shares your last name, Greg O'Brien. Yeah. There's a lot of O'Briens out there. That's not a paranormal thing. Now, if you knew somebody with the last name Giordano, that would be a little more impressive. O'Brien, you can throw a dart at a map and hit an O'Brien. They're all over the place. Come on, Gigi. Wake up. Put your thinking cap back on now, will ya? That's like saying, I grew up with a friend whose last name was Johnson. Really? I'm giving you a hard time there. Come on. Oh, Gigi, your hair looks different. What'd you do differently? Colored it. Gigi's got good hair. You do. What am I not seeing? Oh, that you're in the car. Oh, I see that pic. I know that pic. All right. All right. Well, there's one more here he's going to show us. I believe some of these are legit.
A few more interestingly...
These are the unscrubbed. They missed these.
...shaped UFOs.
Supposedly. Look at that. That looks like an hourglass. That looks like a game controller.
Back to Apollo 14, there really seemed to be a lot of activity around the moon. Here's some examples of when we'd work the brightness to bring forth objects reflecting off the sunlight.
Huh?
A lot of these are mistaken as stars until increasing the brightness because they'd have areas where light were reflected more. A lot of this may seem a little too good to be true.
Okay, so here's what happened on the moon, right? So they see us coming and they tell everybody on the moon, get up in the sky. You can't show these humans that there's anything on the moon. What did they do? Leave the planet and just hover above it for a day or two? That's what it looks like's happening. And then we got pictures of some of them trying to escape our seeing eyes, cameras, and split. This is so too good to be true. The lad just said it too.
But I assure you, it's there.
Wow. Can you imagine though? This is here. It's beautiful. How come nobody's done anything with these since?
One of the most interesting images where we had to bring forth a very dim object was from Apollo 16's image of the far side of the moon.
Dim sum.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we humans had any space stations at the moon in 1972.
All right. I'm going to leave this image up. I'm bringing myself here. How? How is that even possible, what we're looking at? Scusa. So you mean to tell me that that is legitimately a UFO around the moon? It's really interesting if it is. So I'm trying to think. If the cameras they used, they were the Hasselblads, right? Back then that NASA used, right? And they're using these phenomenal cameras. They're really good. Hasselblad's probably the best you can get, I think, or back in the day it was. Then Bell and Howell, they're really, I have some Bell and Howell's vintage stuff. Really beautiful. I should show you guys. But this is an interesting little picture though, or still frame. I don't know what's going on right in here. But I don't know what this is. Is that one big craft? Is this just... See, everything's put away. Everything's digitized and put away and safely stored. It's not going to last forever. They can try, but it won't last forever. But these things that we're looking at were already on the film. It didn't come afterwards, right? It didn't come after. It's on the film. So as it gets older, this may crack or deteriorate and stuff may start appearing, but you'll be able to tell the difference what's in the photo and then what's physically breaking up in 3D. I don't know, man. This is just a bizarre...
And yes, that was a facetious remark.
Very, very bizarre. Look, I want to believe, man. I do. Nobody wants to believe more than me. Nobody. But it's hard to deny some of that stuff. It does look metallic. Some of that does. If it was just markings on the lens, it wouldn't look like that on every one of those. There's no way. So are they? We know they're scrubbing because we're not allowed to live in fantasy land. Now, tomorrow I'm going to talk about, I don't know if I'm doing a show tomorrow, to be honest. Because of the playoffs, that's why. I already missed a game today. Thank God it was a blowout. US, Japan. This was yesterday. I didn't talk about it. They signed a space collaboration agreement at NASA headquarters. Can you believe this shit? I can't believe... Oh, it's Japan. Never mind. I thought it was China for some reason. Well, that's racist. No, it's not. They don't all look alike, Rich. Shut off. During an event hosted by NASA Administrator Bill Nelson and Deputy Administrator Pam Melroy at the agency's headquarters in Washington Friday, representatives from the United States and Japan gathered up to sign an agreement that builds on a long history of collaboration in space exploration between the two nations. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken and Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs Hayashi Yoshimasa signed the agreement on behalf of the United States and Japan, respectively. The future of space is collaborative, says Blinken, though this agreement, our nations have straightened out partnership in space and here on Earth, we will go farther and learn even more together. The signing is a highlight of Prime Minister Kishida Fumio's visit to Washington since 2021. I respect this agreement to vigorously promote Japan-US space cooperation and expand areas of cooperation for the U.S.-Japan alliance, which is stronger than ever before, says Kishida. Among the other witnesses in attendance were U.S. Ambassador to Japan, Rahm Emanuel, Japanese Ambassador to the U.S., Tomita Joji, Japanese Space Exploration Agency President, Yamakawa Hiroshi, and Deputy Assistant to the President and Executive Secretary of the National Space Council, Chirag Pank. NASA astronaut Anne McLean and JAXA astronaut Hoshide Akihoko also participated in the event. From low Earth orbit to the moon and beyond, Japan is one of NASA's most significant international partners, and this is the latest framework agreement that will allow us to further collaborate across our agency's broad portfolios in exploration, science, and research, said Nelson. Known as Framework Agreement between the Government of Japan and the Government of the U.S. of America for cooperation in space exploration and the use of outer space, including the moon and other celestial bodies. For peaceful purposes, this pact recognizes a mutual interest in peaceful exploration. It completes work from President Joe Biden, Japan, September, to visit Tokyo. All right, well, that's nice. Nice. We're working in collaboration with Japan, with NASA, and we are going to explore things simultaneously together. And we will disseminate the information to absolutely no one. Well, we'll see. Spy agencies. Have you read this? Have you seen this? This is a couple of days ago. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. This is 2 days ago. Spy agencies report hundreds more UFO sightings since 2021. Huh? Yeah. Spy agencies. By Brian Bender and Kelly Garrity. Oh, that figures. Wow, that's spy agencies. National security agencies are studying hundreds of new reports on UFOs, including many that appear to perform maneuvers that are highly advanced, and the nation's top intelligence official reported on Thursday. Oh, I see. It's a play on words, is it? Oh, okay. Thank you. You got me. Clickbait. Unbelievable. You know? Nobody cares. Yeah, nobody cares. All right, that's it for tonight. I'm going to get going. Football game is on. Thank you, moderators and super chatters and Dark Hour Paranormal. Appreciate everybody hanging out tonight. Sorry, could have done better. I could always do better. Just call me Richie Schindler because I could always do better. I should have. Thank you, moderators and super chatters. Thank you, newcomers and veterans. And thanks to Coral Ann. Coral Ann! Huh? And then Monday I'll make the announcement. Yeah, for the new chair, the Coral Ann chair. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we are Truthology for ufology. Mute button came on. That was weird. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. And look, Martin Luther King Day is Monday. So you guys have off if you work in 9 to 5, you may have off Monday. So Monday we're going to do nothing different. I don't know. But thank you very much, and we'll see you later. Alien bless. Huh? I said alien bless.